bothers the hell out of me. I just like you're famous. Well, sort of famous. You're e-famous. You're popular because people like you and they willingly support you. So why don't you support them? Why don't you treat them like human beings? You know, that's
yeah.
what bothers me.
And that's not saying, roll over and die if someone's going to be a jerk to you or if something bad's happening, just be cool with it. There are things that happen where fans are jerks too, but, you got to realize that you can't be at war with everyone and you can't be,
Well,
you know,
I'm of the opinion that one good turn deserves another. If a fan's going to tweet you and be a dick about it, be a dick. You can be a dick back. That's fine, but
yeah,
don't escalate the war or anything. It's just he just seems constantly he seems constantly at war with himself too. I mean, it's just one
he
of those
really
things.
is. And a lot of people, they talk about, the fact that he has depression and the fact that he went through a breakup and stuff like that. And that's stuff that I totally get. And if it's something that he's struggling with, something that he needs help getting over, that he can't, I get that, but you cannot take it out on other people. And it is not a free pass to do whatever you want, because there are a lot of people who deal with depression, who deal with breakups, who aren't a dick to the people who are their friends, who are their coworkers, who are their fans.
There are a lot of people who could manage it, but there are a lot of people who grew up and know is one of the guys that he just doesn't come across as being an adult. And this is from my own personal experience with working with him. He's very much got a kid's mentality. He doesn't have, from my point of view, and I'm not gonna, and I know I'm putting you in an awkward position, and I don't want you to comment on it, but I just want to sort of say this: he just doesn't come across as someone with a good work ethic, with someone who will put the effort into caring about his community the way someone like you or Jo or Nash does. But that's my own personal take on it. And obviously, I don't want you to comment on that because that would be career suicide.
Yeah, I
But let me ask you this: you've obviously worked with the guy before, right?
yes,
Okay. Is he, to you, is he like this? Is he this abrasive in real life?
absolutely not.
So he doesn't come across like he comes across like a normal person to you.
Well, here are the times that I've talked to him. I've
Okay.
I've talked to him a little bit during the anniversaries, and the first Magfest. He was there, at least the couple of Magfests back, the first one I was at.
Yeah.
Um, and he didn't talk to me that much, but when he did, it was a lot of talking about movies and stuff like that. And he was nice. He was lost in his own world. It's very hard to have a conversation with him, where he's not stuck on his own topic. But he wasn't like that, and it kills me that he's like that on Twitter and he wasn't like that in real life, because I know he doesn't talk to people like that in real life. And I hung out at his house once with when Lindsay was visiting, and he was perfectly nice there. That's the thing that kills me. You know,
Is he just going for like? Do you think he's just going for a personality, or what is he doing?
he said he talks about it as being a comedian, as being in character, and a lot of that is really not cool,
But that's not.
because the people in his real life are not characters. You can't have both.
But like for example, I make a lot of tasteless jokes on Twitter, but I don't necessarily go out and attack you and say things like, I have to deal with a lot of thin-skinned cunts in my work, and then, you know, uh, reply to you as what was it, like point taken or point example or something like that. When you
He's uh
when you
he's
talking about
definitely not going to be as nice if I ever see him again in person. But I don't think he would be like this if we were talking in person. But I think it's very hard for him to talk about real world stuff, and so he kind of goes back into that mode, and that's why he's acting like that.
that's sad. That's actually very sad. I mean, that's one of those things where he's just like he needs to step away from the internet. He just needs to get away.
I think honestly he needs to be at peace with himself and how he feels about himself. And I think if he wanted to be a better person, if he wanted to help himself, he would. But he really doesn't. He tweets a lot about, you know, what he should do, but he doesn't really want to take people's advice. And really, Twitter's not the best place to be asking for that anyway. But you know, a lot of it does have to do with the fact that he doesn't he has problems with himself, and I believe it. And you know, I don't want to get on him for his depression or his breakup or anything like that. But the way that he handles stuff is absolutely his fault.
Yeah, it's his own fault. I mean, he puts himself
Yeah,
into this
and the people
situation.
that you know, the people that use it as an excuse or say that he's misunderstood, they don't know him. They watch his videos. They don't know him personally. I don't really know him that well.
Yeah,
You know?
sadly. I mean, the only side of Noah I got to know was the freshly broken up from Scarlet side. So that was the heavily, heavily, heavily depressed Noah. I don't really, I don't really personally know him all that well. You know, I only got to work with the guy. That was it, and I can't really like I can't really say anything to him in terms of what his thought process is or anything. So it's not like we can't. It's not like you can like, give advice and be like, "Hey, this is what you need to do." No, it's more like